Alright, the day has finally come. We're going down to rescue the old VE SSV Commodore. I've had this car sitting in storage for 3 years while I'm doing a big renovation at home and doing a huge extension, massive garage, and it's finally complete. So now the task is to go and retrieve the Commodore from storage, which I've had stored down very kindly at a neighbour's place. So I'm going down to retrieve that now, and we're gonna have to get it going obviously first. So go from there. Just got down here to the storage shed where she's been in, and we're gonna go in and see what condition she's in. There she is. All right, we'll get some lights going here. Perfect. So been sitting down here for 3 years, and I did drive it in. But might have to do a bit of work to get her going before we drive her out, I think. So anyway, that's her there. So probably the first thing I'm going to do is open the bonnet and check for any rat nests and that sort of thing, and try and clear her out. But we'll siphon the fuel out of it. We'll get the battery on charge. I know it's going to need another battery, but if we can just get, I think if I charge it up all night and then put a jumper on it, we might be able to get it to turn over. But we've got a few things to do before I get to that point. But yeah, that's her there. Unlocked. It's been a long time coming getting this thing back on the road, and here we are. So we'll go from there. Alright, so we've got the battery charger hooked up. For people who don't know, the battery on these things, I'll show you where it is. Not in the engine bay. There is a bit of evidence of mice in there, so hopefully they haven't chewed on anything too badly. Yeah, the battery for this actually up behind the seat on the utes in there. So I've just hooked up that, so I've got the charge going into it. As I said, we will be putting a new battery in it, but just for now, because the car was locked when it went in here, the fuel flap actually locks too, so we had to get power to it to unlock the fuel flap, which we've done now, in order to drain the fuel. So we've done that, and we'll drain the fuel now and go from there. To go actually too far, what I've done, I've actually pulled the fuel pump relay out, which is that right there. And that's located up under the passenger side. You can really see there, up in there. It is labelled on the little cover here. Yep. Just there, fuel pump relay. So we pulled that out, just because, mucking around turning the ignition on and off and whatnot. We don't want to be putting any of the old fuel up to the pump or anything, so it's just a precaution there. What we're going to do is, as I said, we've got the charge hooked up. I'm about to drain the fuel out, and then we will try and get the engine cranking over to build oil pressure, and that way with the fuel pump relay removed, it's not going to start, which we don't want it to start yet with no oil pressure obviously. So that's where we're at. Took that out now, so I will drain this fuel and go from there. Alright, so we're back at the Commodore. Just cleared out a heap of stuff that was all stored behind it here. Get it all cleared. Keep that a bit of a clean out, I think. So anyway, plan yesterday kind of failed. These here have got a anti-siphon thing in the neck, so you can't actually put I was going to put that here. You shake it and get the fuel out that way, which is not going to work now. So, but I've come with a different idea just through a bit of research and thinking about it. So what I'm going to try and do is on the fuel rail here, you undo the little cap on there. It's got a Schrader valve in there, like a push bike valve. So what I'm going to do, we'll do a fuel line here, is undo the valve hooked that fuel line on the top there, and then I've took the fuel relay out. I've got a paper clip so you can apparently just bypass the relay with that to keep the pump, the fuel pump running. So we just have to have power, obviously, so hopefully the chargers charge it up enough. So we'll turn the ignition on. We'll get all this hooked up first, of course, and get it draining, ready to drain into a jerry can. And then we'll turn the ignition on, and I'll have a little paper clip in there and bypass the switch so it just keeps the fuel pump running constantly. And that way we should be able to suck out any old fuel that's in the lines and go from there. Alright, so we've got it going. We've got fuel line hooked up there. There's down here. You can see it here. It's going straight in. You see that? All the old fuel coming out. It's good. So how I've done that, I've got the ignition on, and I've got, I don't know if you can see here, it's a bit hard to see, but I've got you can sort of just see it there, the paper clip hooked up to where the relay goes, just so the pump is continually going. We've managed to charge the battery up enough that it'll continue to run. I've turned off all the headlights and accessories there just so, because this is an old battery and it is 3 years old, just so we can keep it running as long as possible. Get all the fuel out, which I'm pretty sure when I parked this thing it had not much in it anyway, but I really just want to get any old fuel out. Which by the sound of it, oh, it's still going. Yeah, so we'll just keep going with this, and it takes what it takes, and get all the old fuel out of the lines. So yeah, like I said, we don't want any stale old fuel running into the injectors and whatnot. So we'll just keep going there and go from there. Alright, so we've just finished draining all the fuel out of that, all the old stale fuel, and as suspected there was only like a couple of litres. There's a 10 litre drum, it's not very full. There's probably only like, you know, 5, maybe 3 or 4 litres in that, so which is good. There's not much wastage there. So the next step, I'm going to go get some fresh fuel, get some high grade fuel, and I'll put the Schrader valve and everything back on that. But what I'm going to do, I'll go get the high grade fuel, put the high grade fuel in, and get all this back together. But we're going to leave the fuel pump relay out for now, and we're going to get this thing cranking to build up oil pressure. I'll obviously check the oil before we get, well, the next thing I do, check the oil level. But if oil level's all good, we're going to get it cranking over to build up oil pressure, and then once that's built up, we'll put the fuel pump relay back in, and hopefully she'll start and we'll be able to go. We'll go do that, come back. Alright, so here we are back at Commodore. So we've drained out all the fuel, as I said before. That's all drained out. I've put the Schrader valve back in there. We've just put fresh 20 litres of 98 in it, just so it's got, you know, real octane fuel going in. I've took the, as I said before, the fuel pump relay out. It's just there. So we're pretty much ready to crank it over now. I've already checked the air filter. There's no vermin's got into that, so we're all good. I've checked the oil level. We've got the right amount of oil in it. I've checked the coolant level too, so we're all good there. So pretty well, we're ready to start cranking her over and build up that oil pressure. So I'll just turn off the charger while we do that. Just unplug it as well, just to be safe. Just in behind the seat here. So we'll just unplug that. Just to be safe. Out of the way. Alright. So should be oil pressure on this. Should be between sort of 200 and 400 kPa or 29 to 58 psi that converts to. So this has got an oil gauge built into it. So we'll see what she does. You can hear there, I've just turned on, you can't hear the fuel pump run, which is good. We don't want to hear that, so because we don't want to start it. So let's see if it cranks over. Which is out of gear. Let's see. Alright, so now we've built up oil pressure. We've just put the relay back in and we'll see if it'll run and stay running. And look at that. She lives. So we got there 300 kPa of oil pressure. Perfect. So we're in range there. And of course there's going to be a lot of lights coming on, just been sitting for so long. So anyway, that's good. It runs. See there, run. Lights off. This doesn't sound too bad. Oh, blowing out a bit of crap out the exhaust there. That's pretty good. That's been sitting for 3 years, and we've done some relatively minor work to it really. We've been able to crank her over and get her running. That doesn't sound too bad there. Sounds pretty good. So I'll finally be able to get it out of storage. Obviously it's going to need a full service and check over. I want to get it right up looking smick again. I'm going to give it a good wash and get it detailed, probably give it a buff. We'll get that sailplane repainted on it and new tonneau cover and whatnot, and just go right over and get it back on the road. It said it has been sitting for 3 years, but that just goes to show how good these things are. 3 years of sitting, and all we did was suck out some old fuel, put some fresh stuff in it. It's pretty good. So anyway, we'll go about getting the old barn find out of here. Get her up to my workshop, my shed, which I've just built, and I can finally have this back at my own place. So we'll go up there and start cleaning her up and go from there. Alright, we're back on the Commodore. So back in the garage, as you can see. It's finally back at home. So I gave it a wash. Once I got back, I've already washed it. And put some pressure in the tyres. They were right down, of course, from sitting for so long. But so pressurised all the tyres, given it a wash. Probably have to give it a bit of a buff. You see some marks on the roof there, but we'll get to that. But what we're going to do today, it's very stale and musty in here from sitting. So we've got like a bit of mould, a little bit of mould here and there. As you can see on the seats there, it's common areas for when it's been sitting. So I'm going to open it all up. Apparently Glen 20 actually pretty good to spray in there, and just on a microfiber cloth, which I've got over here, some of this, and we'll just spray it on, get it all nice and fresh. But I think I'm going to also disconnect the battery and give it a hard reset, just because there is an engine light coming up on the dash, which may have just been from sitting, you know, and it's come up. So we'll do a hard reset, take the battery terminal off, and hopefully it'll reset itself. But we can also we'll charge the battery up as well, see if it holds the charge. But for now we're going to give it a vacuum out first, and then I'll give it a good wipe down on all the doors, and you can see there some mould there and on there. But we'll get all that off. We'll do that now and go from there. Alright, back on the Commodore. So what we're doing today is I'm attempting to do some sort of restoration on this blue dash. SSVs, you could get blue or red dashes as an option. So the problem with this dash, you see these spots here, that's all sunspots. Over there as well. I've tried heaps of different cleaning products to get it off. Nothing seems to be working, so after a bit of research, I've come up with heating gently the dash with a heat gun, like so. I'll just tap the temperature, turn about halfway, and I've got this little attachment on here to direct heat to the affected areas, and it seems to be working. It was really bad all here, but it's cleaned it up really good. I know it looks a bit hazy in that, but I tried using a bit of polish and whatnot on there, but we'll clean that off later. But yeah, we'll give a demonstration piece here. I'll just turn the heat on. We'll take the air just back and forth, like so. As you see there, pretty well all gone. So I've just been going over all the areas that are affected badly. As you can see there, it's pretty well got rid of it. Just got more spots up here. That's pretty well got rid of that. So we're just going to keep going with that, and hopefully it comes up all right. But we'll keep going with that, and so we'll go from there. Well, that's just after going over the driver's side, and as you can see, it's a massive improvement. Again, I will give this a wipe down. There's just a bit of cleaning product left on there, but the heat has really got rid of all those sunspots. It's pulled it all through, and it's worked really well. So about to start the passenger side here. You can see there's a few here as well. So we'll get on to that and go from there. Well, that's the finished product. So as you can see, it did get off all the sunspots. So it's come up pretty good. Yeah, so a lot better than what it was. So now I'm going to give it a clean with some dash cleaner, some vinyl cleaner, and see how it comes up from that. So the stuff just got this. This is just its interior cleaner. So we'll give that a spray. Obviously let it cool off down there and go from there. Well, that's after the clean. Way better. Look at that. That's come up heaps good. Might get some rejuvenation armor oil, something like that for it as well, just to really bring up that colour, but it's got rid of all the sunspots and it's cleaned up much better than what it was. So we'll work on that now, and I've got to also clean the door cards here. So it's pretty black all around there, so another thing to work on. Yeah, all coming together. Yeah. Okay, so I've just gone and into town and got some of this vinyl care rejuvenating. So I reckon this is good for dashes. As you can see, we've got all the sunspot marks off, but I'm going to give it a hit with this stuff and see how it goes. So you just spray it on like so. Spray it on there, let it sit for a minute or so, and then we'll just give it a wipe with a microfiber cloth and see how it comes up. So I'll do that and we'll see the result. So I bought this detailing pad. It's got two sides, so a bit more of a coarser side there and a microfiber side there. So we'll just give this a little rub into the dash. With the solution we put on there, and hopefully it comes up all right. So it's good because these dashes are actually like little tiny, if you can see there, little tiny hexagons. So this brush will be good because it'll get, it'll get right into those hexagons. And I think it's going to come up pretty good. It looks really good now, but it is obviously wet. So we'll give that a go over, we'll give that one a go over, and then I'll wipe it clean with the microfiber side and we'll see how it comes up. Yeah. Alright, well, the cleaners work pretty good. You can see there, that's cleaned it up way better. There's still little spots on there drying at the moment, but so I've just sprayed it on, given it a scrub with the coarser side of this, and then just given it a microfiber wipe down, and it's cleaned up really well. So even on the top of the little speaker there and whatnot, it's so much better than what it was. So no more sunspots, and it's really come up pretty good. So pretty happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to try and work on is the door cards, just the grime in there. So and up here actually, there's a grime along the top there. Again, it's that hexagon material there. So we'll give it a spray with, we'll actually spray it with this stuff first. This here, interior cleaner. So we'll give it a spray, and we'll turn that on there, and we'll then give it a scrub with the coarse side here, and depending on how that comes up, we might give it some rejuvenation as well. So we'll do that next. Okay, so that's just after a clean and a scrub. You can see how dirty it was. That's meant to be white. So scrub it all along the top there, and scrub this come up pretty good. This blue armrest here is scrubbed up pretty nice there. I probably will give it a hit with the rejuvenation, this stuff, just to bring that blue up a bit better. But other than that, it's cleaned up really well all in there, all on the top there. There was a bit of grime along the top here, which it's got 90% of that off. So that's come up good. So I'll give it a hit with the rejuvenation now on there and see what that comes up like. So that's after applying the rejuvenation on it. It's come up really good. It's as good as it's going to get, I reckon. So that's pretty good. This whole door card is pretty well done. I've cleaned it right out over the speakers, up in behind the door handle there, the vents. So yeah, it's coming up pretty good. Okay, on to the next thing. So this had a dash mat on it, which was good for, well, I say it was good for protecting this dash. It had a heap of sunspots on it because dash mat was fitted a bit too late, but it was held down by Velcro, which, as you can see there, the Velcro sticky bits, the sun's melted it and it's leaked there, all there. So we're just working on cleaning that up now. I've actually already done the driver's side. There was one there and there, so it's cleaned up really good. Stuff I've been using is actually just this eucalyptus oil. So just a little bit of that on my little pad here, and just scrubbing it in circular motions on it. Takes a bit of time, but yeah, it's all good. So yeah, we get that all cleaned up. And then I just give it a hit with the interior cleaner and just give it a little bit of a wipe with a microfiber cloth. But that's got that off there and there. So we'll start on the other side and get that there off and go from there. All right, we're pretty much finished doing the detailing on the inside of the car for now. Look how good that door cards has come up. That's come up really good. You can see there it was pretty grimy before. It's not perfect by any means, but it's way better than what it was. Even inside here and across the top of the dash, all across the dash there, the seats, it's all come up pretty good, really. So that'll probably do for the inside of it for now. You can see there, that door's come up really well too. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for these videos for now. That's the whole car there. So I don't know what's next for it. Also got to get it registered, all that, which won't be a problem. But probably just get a couple of dings pulled out of it. Nothing too serious. Get this resprayed, the sailplane. And yeah, who knows what modifications we might do. But I think it's come up pretty good. So that's it from being sitting down in a storage shed for 3 years, covered in crap, not turned on the whole time down there, to getting all the fuel pulled out of it and getting her running again and driving her up here. And that's where we are at the moment. So we'll hopefully be doing a few more videos, but we're just going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching.